Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I didn't think asking my girlfriend to dress modestly for one dinner would expose everything that was wrong between us. But that night changed how I saw love, loyalty, and myself. My name is Daniel. I'm 32, born and raised in Ohio, and my parents are old school in a quiet, predictable way that comes from decades of routine. They don't shout, don't judge loudly, and don't say much unless it matters. Emily knew that. She'd met them once before, briefly, and afterward she laughed and said they were sweet but intense. I didn't argue. Emily has always been confident, expressive, and unapologetic. She dresses the way she feels, not the way others expect. That was part of what attracted me to her, in the first place. Still, the dinner mattered to me. My parents were coming over to officially welcome her, and I wanted the evening calm, respectful, uncomplicated. So earlier that afternoon, while she stood in front of the mirror, holding up a fitted black dress, I said it. Would you mind wearing something a little more modest tonight? The word hung between us. Emily turned, eyebrow raised, studying my face. Why? She asked, not angry, just curious. I explained about my parents, their values, how I didn't want them to feel uncomfortable. She nodded slowly, then smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Fine, she said, if it matters to you. She chose a long-sleeved navy dress. Simple, elegant, nothing provocative. I felt relieved, even grateful, and kissed her cheek, unaware that relief would cost me later. Dinner started politely. My mother, Margaret, complimented Emily's manners. My father, Robert, asked about her work. Conversation flowed easily, almost pleasantly. I remember thinking I'd worry for nothing. Then dessert was served, coffee poured, and my parents exchanged a look I recognized from childhood, the silent signal that something important was coming. My mother folded her hands and looked at Emily. Can we ask you something? She said gently. Emily smiled. Of course. Margaret paused and said, how did you feel when Daniel asked you to change your dress tonight? My chest tightened. Emily glanced at me, then back at my parents. Honestly, she said, it hurt. Silence settled over the table. She continued calmly. I did it because I care about him, but it made me feel like I was being judged before I even walked in the door. My mother nodded, listening. My father leaned back, thoughtful, then Margaret surprised me. Daniel, she said, turning to me, why did you think we would be uncomfortable? I opened my mouth, then closed it. I realized I didn't have a real answer, just assumptions. Robert spoke next. We raised you to respect women, not manage them. His voice wasn't harsh, just disappointed. If Emily is the woman you chose, he continued, then she should never feel smaller to make you comfortable. The words hit harder than any argument could have. Emily stayed quiet, eyes on her plate. I felt exposed, like a child being corrected. My mother reached across the table and took Emily's hand. You don't owe us conformity, she said. Only honesty. I realized then the dinner wasn't about my parents' comfort. It was about control, and I was the one holding it. When the plates were cleared, my parents excused themselves early, leaving us alone in the quiet kitchen. Emily finally looked at me. I need to know, she said softly. Was tonight about them or about you? I didn't answer right away. Outside, the house felt different, heavier. I understood then that whatever I said next would decide more than one relationship. It would decide who I was becoming, and whether love meant protection or permission. I just didn't yet know which answer I was brave enough to give. The silence stretched, thick and unforgiving, and in that moment, I felt the first crack in something I'd assumed was solid. It wasn't loud or dramatic, just a quiet fracture running through my certainty. Emily waited, patient, eyes steady, as if she already knew the truth I was avoiding. I swallowed, heart pounding, aware that whatever came next would change everything we had built, whether I was ready or not. The night pressed in around us, questions I could no longer postpone. And for the first time, I feared that love might demand more courage and compliance. I drew a breath, knowing the next words would either heal us or end us, and neither outcome. I exhaled slowly and said the truth I'd been dodging all evening. It was about me, Emily didn't flinch, but I saw something shift behind her eyes, like a door quietly closing. I continued, because stopping would only make it worse. I thought if you fit into their expectations, everything would be easier. I didn't realize I was asking you to carry my fear. She looked away, folding her arms, not defensive, just tired. That's the thing, Daniel, she said. I've spent my whole life fighting to be seen as more than something people approve or disapprove of. When it came from you, it hurt differently. I nodded, shame settling deep in my chest. I wanted to explain that I'd grown up measuring myself by my parents' approval, that peace in my house always meant compliance. But excuses felt cheap now. She deserved accountability, not context. I'm sorry, I said, not because my parents called me out, but because I didn't protect you. Emily studied my face, searching for something. Do you actually believe what they said? She asked. The question landed harder than the conversation with my parents. I thought about my father's quiet disappointment, my mother's gentle certainty. I thought about how quickly I'd assumed discomfort instead of trust. Yes, I said, I do. She nodded slowly. We stood there in silence, the hum of the refrigerator filling the space between us. Finally, she spoke again. Then you need to understand something, she said. Tonight wasn't just awkward. It showed me how you handle pressure. When things get uncomfortable, you try to control the environment instead of confronting your own fear. I wanted to argue, but she was right. She stepped closer, voice steady but firm. I don't need a partner who asks me to shrink. I need one who stands beside me when people question my choices. Her words weren't angry. They were decisive. I felt the weight of them settle. I can be that, I said quickly, desperation creeping in. Emily shook her head gently. Maybe, she said, but not tonight. My stomach dropped. She explained that she needed space, not punishment but clarity. She needed to know if I was willing to unlearn things that had shaped me my whole life. I offered to drive her home, but she declined, calling a rideshare instead. We stood on the porch as she waited. When the car pulled up, she paused. I care about you, she said. That's why this matters. Then she left. The house felt unbearably quiet. I didn't sleep much that night. I replayed every moment, not just the dinner, but all the subtle ways I prioritized harmony over honesty. In the morning, my parents called. My mother didn't scold me. She simply said, growth is uncomfortable. Don't waste a lesson. That afternoon, I sent Emily a message. Not an apology, not a promise, but a commitment. I told her I was starting therapy, that I needed to understand why approval had felt safer than respect. I told her I didn't expect anything from her, only that I wanted to change whether she stayed or not. Hours passed before she replied. That's the first thing you said that feels like love, she wrote. We didn't rush back into normalcy. We talked slowly, carefully, about boundaries and expectations. Some days were awkward. Some conversations hurt. But over time, I learned that love wasn't about smoothing discomfort for others. It was about standing firm in shared values, even when it cost you peace. That dinner didn't end my relationship, but it ended the version of me that thought control was care. And in losing that illusion, I gained something harder, truer, and far more worth holding on to.